Movers, in today's video, we are going to dive into the educator speaking superpower so you can make the most of your authentic voice. If you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, check out this video. Hey everybody, my name is Sally Z, and I coach purpose-driven entrepreneurs and changemakers like you to utilize speaking in their business, unleash their authentic voice, step on stage with more courage and clarity, and finally leave self-doubt and obscurity in the dust. And as always, I would love for you to follow along with us here at Be Moved. So if you're new here, click that subscribe button so that you can be in the know. Are you ready to create some talks that will move this world? Okay, well, let's start by looking at the 4 types of speaking superpowers. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, it's because maybe you haven't taken this quiz yet. So if you haven't taken the quiz, first do that. Go to bemove.com/speaking superpower quiz, because this will give you information about what kind of speaker you are and how you can utilize that strength more. Really, this is a way for you to lean into your authentic voice, to own it and use it. For those of you who have done the quiz and are now here saying, hey, I'm an educator and I want to know more about how I can utilize this gift, how I can bring it out into the world more, and how I can become even more effective with my superpower. Well, you are in the right place, because we are going to talk about these 4 types for just a moment, but really dig deep into the educator. So the 4 types are innovator, motivator, educator, and storyteller. And today we are going to focus really on you, the educator. So educators, you are on the ground, make it happen type of people. You like to get stuff done. You like to use a system, follow a system, fix the systems. You are tactical, practical. You are great educators. And oh my gosh, your audiences are like, thank you for telling me what to do, how to do it. You tend to really master the data-driven, facts-driven, on-the-ground, tactical, practical approaches. And that's awesome, because not all speakers can do that well, and that is your strength. Now, as a speaker, you really focus on informing your audience, really keeping it hand-holdy so that they can do what it is that you're talking about. And you really think about how to teach, so how to make it really useful for your audience. You know your stuff, and you share your knowing. But here's how you can keep growing. Sharing what you know is only part of what really moves your audience. In fact, if you cannot lean into another part of speaking, all that knowing isn't gonna go anywhere. So we've got really 2 parts of an effective speaker. We've got inspiration and motivation, and then we've got the instruction, right? The teaching, the knowledge that we are sharing. You're great on the knowledge side, but what we want to do is make sure that you're also leaning into the inspiration and the motivation, because the best speakers can do both. You know your stuff, but without people understanding why it's important and why it matters to them and what is the harm or what's the difference that it can make, you won't really move your audience. To move your audience, really, you've got to tap into what's possible. We want to make sure that your audience feels something, not just thinking something. So it turns out that Aristotle was at least a little right about all that pathos stuff, which is emotion, how we move people. Let's look at who some famous educator speakers are, because there are some awesome educator speakers. You are in really, really great company. Okay, let's start by looking at one of my mentors, Amy Porterfield. Now, if you are an online business person, an online entrepreneur, you probably have heard of Amy Porterfield, but she is such a skilled step-by-step practical, tactical speaker. And that's what I love about being in the audience with Amy, is I trust and know that she's going to walk me through how and it is powerful. And it's great to be one of her students because I know she's going to serve it up. But there's also Brené Brown. Now, she is probably the most famous TED speaker, I would say. We could maybe argue about it, but I would guess that Brené Brown is, in your mind, the TEDx speaker or the TED speaker. I mean, her TEDx talk, she just did it one day and it went viral. I mean, that's a lot of our dreams, right? But part of the reason it went viral is because Brené is a really evolved educator speaker. She is very practical. She breaks down every word into definitions. She's really honed in on how to make this understandable and practical and doable so that we really take in the information. Now, what I think is so awesome about Brené is she's not just here's how to do it. She's also really grounded in this other strength that we were just talking about. What's possible, really emotively driven. And I think what's really interesting is she has talked about how she's evolved to get there. Her personal development absolutely aligns with her speaker development. And then last is Daniel Pink. And if you have seen his TED Talk, it's first of all really funny, but it's also really data driven. He's very much about here's what I know, here's what it is, here's what's happening. And it's very down to earth and it's great. So check that one out if you haven't seen that one either. So educators, I really want you to own this speaking superpower because it's an important one. And so many of my audience, I'm learning, are educator speakers. So if that's you see this little hashtag, I'd love for you to hop in the comments, declare your speaking superpower, own it, love it, put it out there for the world to see. You can find me over on Instagram too. Tag me so that I can see it and cheer you on as well. And of course, if you haven't yet taken the quiz, you got to do that first. bmove.com/speaking superpower quiz. Maybe you've self-identified in these videos and that's awesome too. But if you want to know for sure, take that quiz. But then let me know. Was it right? Did that make sense to you? What do you think? I mean, we all have all of these parts. We might be part innovator. We might be part storyteller. We might be part educator. We might be part, what's the other one? Motivator? I'm tired. The brain is fried. But you know what I mean. We all have some parts of all of the parts, but one of these is going to ring most true for you. And that's the one I want you to lean into. Remember, movers, your authentic voice is your speaking superpower. So know it, own it, and share it. I would love to cheer you on along your journey. All right, my friends, that is it for me. I will see you next week on another video here at Be Moved. I hope you get out there and create a talk that'll move the world. You're here because you're like, I'm a storyteller. No.